Hello, this is Broyar, and welcome back to another episode of our Let's Play for Farming Simulator 22, as we continue our start from scratch, feed my kids run here on Zielonka, and we are just about to move over to August. August is going to be a time when we harvest our oats, as well as a time that we will be planting our next crop for the first time in a long time. We're going to be shifting crops again, finally. We're going to be switching over to canola, I believe, is what we're planning on doing. So let's go and get fast forward, which I think hits us into year 13, if I remember that right, that August is the starting point for the year. Or was it July? No, it has to be August, because we've been in year 12 for a few months. It's not. I could have sworn. Is it really? Does it really remember starting from January? Surely it's not January. Maybe it's March. Maybe it's calendar, like we're looking at here. Well, then the question is, do we switch to canola? If it is March and we don't really want to switch crops until it is time, we could then just do the sunflowers after all. But if we do sunflowers, we actually won't need the grain header anymore, will we? Although, vice versa, the same is true as well. If we do canola, we won't need the sunflower header anymore. That's a good question. I don't know the answer to that. Well, before we do anything, let's at least do the thing we know we can do. We just start harvesting. I mean, the grain header is bigger, right? It's a bigger header than the corn header. So there's value there. I think we're going to do one more straw swath so that we don't have to do straw anymore at all. One more round of straw swath, I should say. Do the headers have horsepower requirements? I never actually thought about looking at that. They do not. What's the difference in our headers? This one is 6 meters at 6 miles an hour and 8.5 meters, 6 miles. So yeah, it's just almost 50% bigger. So it's just a little bit faster to harvest the canola than it would be sunflowers. Is kind of what I'm really getting at. Well, if we are going to do canola, we've got a lot of stuff to do in the month of August then. Because we do need to pick up the straw. We could also wait to do with canola in September, but there's no value there. Do the straw. Put the digester down if we're still going to do that. As well as words are hard. As well as actually plant the canola. There really wasn't that much needed there, was there? We will need some TMR at some point, but let's go ahead and drop off this straw here. Are you really stuck? Come on, come on, come on. There we go. I was going to look up if the bees were worth putting down. Speaking of potatoes, it's potatoes right there, isn't it? I think so. Gotta try and get the math right on the straw versus corn. Not straw, sorry. Canola, oats versus corn in the cereal factory, because I don't want a lot left over if we can help it. So what we might do is actually put the oats into our silo so that we can then see how much corn we've got next month or in 2 months, and make sure we get the exact amount into the cereal factory, because we can always add honey, we can always add raisins. The oats and the corn we're not planning on doing anymore after this round. All right, let me let this guy cruise along for a little bit. I'm going to go look up the bees. I'm also going to go look up for yields for both sunflowers and canola and get an idea of which one just gives us more yields. Because I think at the end of the day, we're probably just going to want the most raw yield, although it might be based off of how much goes into each supply to make the oil. So I'll go do some research, and we'll be right back after this guy's done a little bit as well. All right, we're back. I did do some research on both the yields for canola versus sunflowers, so for the sake of oil, as well as the bees increase for everything. So first up, oil. It looks like sunflowers and canola both produce the same amount of oil per 1,000 liters. I think it's 1.3 times the amount of stuff that you put in. Olives, I think it's 2 times. So if we were to do olives, we would have a little bit more potentially. So on that note, it really doesn't matter which one we do, sunflowers or canola, from that perspective. So then it really comes down to which one gets us the most yield on the field, and they're very close. They're like almost identical, but the canola is just a fraction better. I think it's like 5% better or something like that. But then once you count in the bees give an increase of yield of 2.5% for potatoes and canola, and 5% for sunflowers. And when I did the math, including the bees, including the slightly increased yield for sunflowers for bees versus the canola still comes out on top. The canola gets us about 200 more liters. 200. It's that close. More liters per acre than doing the sunflowers would. So, truth be told, we could do either and be happy with it, right? If we decided to do sunflowers, we really would not be costing us hardly anything. But I think there's a lot of benefits of doing the canola, including the fact that we can go ahead and plant it now if we decide to, which I think makes the canola just, I mean, if they're almost identical, then it's like what comes down to which one do we want to just do at that point. And I think at that point, because it really just comes down to the header for me. The header's a little bit bigger for the canola. We can harvest the canola a little bit faster. Let's just do canola. It's that close, I think. But it's good to know that's that close. Also, for what it's worth, sugar beets do produce quite a bit more per acre than potatoes. So if we had a choice, if we wanted to kind of even those out, if we had a choice, we probably want to put the potatoes on the better field and keep the sugar beets on the slightly smaller field, because they're going to produce just fine. So I think our plan to put the potatoes on this near field here will be fine. We'll put the sugar beets on the far field back there. And then these 2 fields will be canola. And I think we're going to be very happy with that. At least initially. Once we get the actual ratios of the production facilities, then we can balance some things out a little bit better. Kind of like we've been doing with the corn and the oats, where we flip-flop this close field based on what we need at any given point in time. And then there's no reason to change the grass field. We know the grass field's producing plenty of grass for the cows, so we'll just leave it as that one field. But, I mean, I don't know that we leave the beehives there. We can't move them. I wish you could move stuff on this game. That would be actually very, very helpful. But I think what we'll do is we might just sell those beehives and buy new ones. It's fine. We could leave them there, but I'm not even sure if I'm going to sell the honey at the end of the day. I have to think about that part. I don't want more hassle, and honey can be a little bit of a hassle sometimes. Just because it only outputs one at a time, you just kind of have to sit there and wait. Since canola takes a whole year to plant and or should I say to harvest after you plant it, and the planting season's right now, we don't want to wait a whole nother year after that. We will go ahead and just plant it. We're not going to wait till year 13 to switch that over. We know it's coming, and so there's no point in, I think, doing any more oats at this point. All right, while you're, before I get you continued further, let me pull you over out of the way a little bit. Put you on this road here. And then we're going to take you. No, actually, I was going to take you to go get the slurry, but actually, come to think of it, that's not going to matter. We're going to use you because we're going to need to put the slurry or the digested down. We're going to take a load of slurry first, and then we will grab the digested load and start putting that down on the ground. Technically take 2 more loads of slurry if you wanted to. Still putting raisins in here? I think we stopped doing that, didn't we? Yeah, raisins we're not putting anymore. We are still putting honey, though. We might want to sell the sell point for a little bit or move it somewhere else. Not the sell point, the drop-off point. I'll go ahead and grab some more slurry while I'm thinking about it. Let me just make sure you move over to this next field. We'll call that good enough, and then we'll go ahead and pick up some digest when we get back over there now. Actually, before I pick up the digest, I need to see if we did in fact get a penalty for over fertilizing the oats. All right, let's grab you. Sorry, I meant to keep you on. Let's grab the trailer. And let's check the fertilization score. It does look like we got a penalty. So we did over fertilize. Okay. Good to know. I mean, it's useful information. So it really comes down to how much fertilizer do you need for... Do I have a way to see that anywhere? I can see the fertilizer we need to fertilize a field. And I can see how much seeds consumed, but I can't see how much fertilizer we need for each type of crop. So I might have to look that up. Yeah, I need to look that up before I put any digestate down for this canola, because I don't know how much fertilizer the canola is going to need. All right, well, let me put a little another skip here. I'll go look that up, get a little bit further on this, and then we'll come right back. All right, we're back. It looks like canola does need slightly more fertilizer than corn. So since we were good on the corn, we should be good on the canola. Oats is actually one of the ones that uses the least amount of fertilizer. So that's why we were able to over fertilize just by putting some digest down. So that's where that mistake came from, which is okay. So yeah, we're safe to do it on the canola. And potatoes is slightly less than corn, but still more than oats. So I think it's still okay to put digest down for the potatoes. And sugar beets is actually the same as corn. So we should be good on that as well. So for all three of our next crops, we should be good to put digest down. Is the moral of that story. Actually looks like the digestate spraying does not get rid of the straw, so even if it catches up with our straw guy, we can keep him going. No issues that I can see. Alright, yes, we'll be building some canola down here momentarily. What is this factory right next to us? Grain mill, okay. Alright, well we're not going to need that for this save. I mean, I suppose we could make some bread to go with our soup for the last stage, but I don't think that's necessary. Wish we could do peanuts. That'd be fun. Because then we can, like, if we could do peanuts and grape jelly and bread. Peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. There you go. Done. Actually, grape jelly would not be hard to add to the grape processing plant, right? You just say, okay, add some sugar or something like that with the grapes and make grape, you know, some sort of jelly. Hopefully we have enough straw that we won't need to get any more while we're doing the potato chip stuff. Once we get to the soup, we will no longer need cows at that point. Do we actually have any corn or anything like that in there right now? No, we have oats. Which makes sense. That's why we did double corn. So like I said, we'll drop you off into our silo until we know for sure how much corn we're going to have. But we can't see like oats. We have 28 plus 9, so we have about 38,000. So we'll need about, if we use all the oats, which I don't think we will. No, I think I was going to say, I think we have enough honey. I think we just about do have enough honey. I think it's time for us to move that drop-off point somewhere else to see what that does. I mean, it's not going to be perfect, but I just want to make sure we don't waste waste as minimal as possible. Okay, so we want to go to construction, and we want to go get rid of that sell point or drop off point. Or do we? How much more do we actually need? No, we're actually more. We're good. So we do want to go ahead and sell it. Oh, come on. Oh, we're not gonna be able to do it until we get rid of the cereal factor, are we? All right. Well, having a little extra honey is not gonna hurt anything. We'll just have to wait. It's fine. It's not the end of the world. All right. Well, we tried. And we're obviously not selling the cereal factory just yet. We'll wait till we process the next batch, and then we'll be settling after that. All right, so you... I'm gonna guess while we're here, with a little bit of digested left. Spray a little strip here. So every little bit's gonna help. Or not. Did I not turn it on? Apparently I did not turn it on. I didn't realize we could also put digested on the grass on the side of the field. I don't know what value that does. But really, at this point, we just need to get it emptied out. Cool. Alright, that is done. Let's get you parked off over here and pick up the seeder, get that rolling. Canola. It's nice being at a new crop, finally. All right. Well, on that note, we're going to go to put a cut in there. When we come back, I'll probably have the straw mostly picked up. And kind of see where that gets us. I do appreciate you guys watching, though. May God bless you, and I hope you join me again next time. Thank you, and goodbye. I wanted to give a special shout out to the following channel members. Thank you so much for supporting the channel.